A nation of 110 million people just stopped what it was doing. Not because of a political announcement, not because of a national holiday, but because a 21-year-old walked onto center court at Wimbledon and did what nobody fully believed was possible. Alexandra Eala beat Iga Swiatek 7-6, 6-2. The defending Wimbledon champion. The six-time Grand Slam winner. The player who, just last year, dismantled Amanda Anisimova 6-0, 6-0 in the final.
Gone.
In the third round, by a 29th seed who saved set points in the first and then broke her twice in a row in the second. If you only saw the score, you would think it was a good win. If you watched it, you know it was something far different. I want to give you the full picture today, not just the scoreline, but the specific moments that decided this match, what Swiatek's 40-plus unforced errors actually tell you about how Eala dismantled her, and one thing about this win that I don't think anyone is fully grasping yet. I'll get to it. Just stay with me. Let's start with what this result actually is in the context of this tournament. It is the biggest upset of Wimbledon 2026. Not a close second. Not arguably. The defending champion, seeded third, was beaten in straight sets on center court by a player ranked 29th in the world in a match that lasted 2 hours and 14 minutes. That is not a fluke result. That is a performance. And there is a world of difference between the two. The first set alone lasted 85 minutes. Let that number sit in your head for a second. 85 minutes for one set on a fast grass court. That tells you everything you need to know about what was happening between these two players. It was a battle. Neither one could break the other. The serves held like anchors. The rallies were competitive, each point stretching just a little longer than the last. The pressure built and built and built until the tiebreak was forced to decide the issue. And then Eala saved set points. 2 of them. In the tiebreak. Against the defending champion. We talked about this in the first set update, but I want to come back to it now that the match is done because those 2 saved set points were not just lucky recoveries. They were the moment the match turned psychologically. Swiatek had the set in her hands. She was there. She let it go. And the player who wins the tiebreak 11-9 after saving 2 set points doesn't come back in the second set carrying doubt. She comes back carrying a different kind of belief. Swiatek, on the other hand, came back carrying something else entirely. The second set was where the match told its full story. Eala broke Swiatek, and then she broke her again. 2 breaks in quick succession. 6-2. The defending champion who crushed opponent 6-love in last year's final was making more than 40 unforced errors across this match. 40. That is not Eala getting lucky. That is Eala constructing the exact conditions under which Swiatek simply could not hold her game together. Here is what I actually think happened tactically. Swiatek's game is built on rhythm. She needs the ball to come to her with pace and height. She needs time to load up on her forehand. She needs the rally to develop long enough that her topspin can establish the pattern she uses to drag opponents off the court. On clay, that system is the most dominant thing in women's tennis. On grass, however, it is a different story entirely. The ball stays low. The time compresses. And Eala's flat, aggressive ball striking never gave Swiatek the height or the pace she needed to load up. That is the tactical reality of this match. Eala did not just outperform Swiatek, she methodically took away the tools Swiatek uses to win. And without those tools, even a 6-time Grand Slam champion makes 40 unforced errors. Because when you cannot play your natural game, you start forcing. And forcing on grass against a player who is striking the ball this cleanly produces errors. A lot of them. Now wait, because here is the detail that I think changes how you should understand this win beyond the match itself. This is the second time Eala has beaten Swiatek. The first was at the Miami Open in March 2025. At that time, she was ranked 141st in the world. She was 19 years old. She was playing on a wild card, and she beat the best player in the world in straight sets on her way to the Miami semifinals. That moment made the Philippines notice her in a completely different way. That moment built the fan base that has been sharing every result, every update, every clip of Eala all week at Wimbledon.
Now, she has done it again.
Not ranked 143, but ranked 29th. Not as a wild card, but as a seeded player. Not in a regular season tournament, but in the third round of a Grand Slam on center court at Wimbledon. And not against a Swiatek, who is struggling through a rebuilding season, but against the defending champion on the court where she won 6-0, 6-0 just 12 months ago. The growth between those two wins is the story. The Miami win was the moment everyone realized Eala could compete at the top level. The Wimbledon win is the moment everyone realizes she belongs there. Let's talk about what this means for the Philippines specifically, because that context matters enormously. The Philippines is a country of around 110 million people. It is a nation with almost no history of success in professional tennis at the Grand Slam level. Before this Wimbledon, no Filipino player had ever won a main draw match at the championships. Then, Eala beat Zarazua in round 1 on Monday. Then, she became the first Filipino ever to reach the third round of a Grand Slam when she beat Maya Joint on Wednesday. And now, she has beaten the defending champion and walked into the fourth round of Wimbledon. In just 5 days, she rewrote the entire history of tennis in her country.